Hello everyone. Welcome to more Minecraft. So lava buckets, that's what it was. I've done a little work to try and not necessarily finalize the structure, but you know, lay out the final design. And this is it. I mean, this and that and the archway over there pretty much are in fact all that are actually left. And I don't think I even have the resources to try to finish it off anyway. But I figure what we can do is at least line the chiseled brick perimeter here at the start of the episode. And that'll give us, you know, a start, if you will. Oh yeah, chiseled tough. I don't have a lot of that, actually. So let me just grab... probably gonna need more than 64. Let's be honest. So yeah, I have these lava buckets, in case you're wondering. I have these lava buckets because they are the lava buckets for the infinite lava supply that we had. And it's not every block in the infinite lava, but it's a lot of them. And I'm kind of trying to collect them, but at the same time, like, I don't really want to... What am I trying to say? I don't just want to, like, grab a... I don't want to just make, like, a million freaking lava buckets. So... or just buckets in general, I guess. So... But yeah, I mean... There's the perimeter, the rim, or however you want to call it, just like I have here. This level is a little interesting because the way that the stairs are done is a little different, as you can see. Normally there's one block back. But I guess I didn't do that on this level. I'm just kind of realizing. So that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, if I, you know, go around, you can see this will go up several blocks. And then this room is going to actually be the throne room. And there's going to be a throne right over here. Could be a bunch of gold blocks and red wool. And that should be pretty cool when we get there. So... But yeah, that's something we'll just have to see when we get there, I guess. So... yeah. I'm kind of really excited to finish it. just because, I mean, it's taken us this long to, get to this point. So I am really interested in, like, finishing that up and making it look really cool and all. So, but yeah, we have all 3 levels of the interior of the ziggurat. I do need to finish getting this polished tuff here. But that's something I think I'll worry about once we have enough tuff to, like, finish the project as a whole. Speaking of tuff, I did go and do a crap ton of mining in the mine. Do. So the mine now goes down into not just the deep slate layer, but even further down. And yes, even further still. We're at minus 26. And I definitely want to go deeper. But there is an abandoned mine shaft here, and I'm pretty sure this is the one that we've already explored through, if I recall. But this abandoned mine shaft was connected to a bunch of tuff. You can see I've dug it out. And so, I went and I used that tuff for a bit more construction of what we've had. I've also gone in, and there are a couple of spawners here and there. These are poisonous spider spawners. Or they're spider spawners. I don't know that they're necessarily poisonous spider spawners. But there's a couple of those around here somewhere. I just don't remember where, apparently. This was also a bunch of tuff that I mined out. And that's kind of where I'm at right now with the mine. Is just like, if I want more tuff, I probably need to go deeper. And so it's really just a matter of doing that, pushing the mine deeper and deeper. This area might not have been cleared out yet. But yeah, I mean, this is just a vanilla. Tough block. This is just a vanilla abandoned mine shaft down here. But yeah, I mean, here's some tuff right here that we could mine to get more. I don't know how, like, interesting this is. We did that one episode that was, like, literally just mining tuff blocks for 4 hours. Or whatever I called it. It did as well as any other video. Unfortunately, you know, I don't exactly have a lot of people watch my stuff. So I don't really know how much of an indicator that is, you know. And it's weird too because, like, well, I guess maybe it's more annoying than weird. Just like, I've been actually getting Minecraft Let's Play, like, recommendations in my feed. You know, in my YouTube recommendeds. And I'm like, that's neat. But then I can very much see that nothing that I put out, whether Let's Play or not, you know, it doesn't get any recommendation, you know, it doesn't get recommended by the algorithm. And unfortunately, you know, I hate being like, well, you know, oh well with the algorithm. Like, I hate, like, trying to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Cater. I hate having to cater to the algorithm. It just feels bad. You know, I'm catering to a freaking computer. But I don't know. I don't know how to get, you know, discovered. I also, like, do wonder, I mean, this channel is how old? Like, if I just took my Minecraft Let's Play episodes and I just put them on another channel, you know, one that's not so old, like, would I get all of the views because I'm a new channel and not an old channel? I don't know. I know of a YouTuber that tried something similar, but then he never, like, revealed the results of his, you know, for a foray into it. I mean, I do suspect that some of it is that this isn't edited in any way. The Let's Plays I have been getting recommended have very much been edited. The one I saw today, actually, was actually really interesting, and it kind of made me think of a possible idea for a build. It would be one that we do like somewhere else. I wouldn't do it here, but it did give me an idea for something I could build elsewhere in my world. Apparently in the, like, original Imp Dev versions of the game, there was a bug with like the terrain generation, where you could get these massive like monolithic terrain generation. And it was really cool. It looked really awesome. And I kind of like was thinking about it going, that would be really fun to like make. You know? Like, yeah, it's something that has been gone from Minecraft for literally, you know, years. It's the inf dev, you know, before even freaking alpha, basically. So it's not like it's something I could ever encounter in my world. And so it was kind of like, well, could I create one? You know? Could I create a monolith in my world? Obviously, it wouldn't be naturally generated. But, even so, it'd be really cool to have this giant freaking piece of, like, world that's just freaking massive, you know, super tall. And so one thing I was thinking was we could try to maybe find like a mountain so that it kind of gives us a start. You know, one of those mountains that's like all the way up at like y equals 300, you know? And so like that could give us a start. And then we would just kind of dig it out in a way. And then like turn around and add all the things that it would kind of need to look like a monolith. So but it's just kind of a thought. It's not, I haven't like decided that, you know, I'm gonna do this or anything. I've just kind of thought about the idea of doing it. Also more tough. Diamonds. Flint is always a good thing to have, because I need to mend. And I wondered, I've been thinking about that, you know. There is a way to obtain unbreakable tools. Now, you can't, to my knowledge, get them in survival. And so I have been kind of uncertain if I should give myself such tools. But at the same time, like, I really hate durability. And so I have considered the idea of, like, giving myself the unbreakable tools. And I guess I kind of figured I would mention it. And kind of, I mean, I know that my comment section, like, people don't really respond a lot in the comments. Like, people don't really post to begin with in the comments. But then it doesn't really seem like a lot of people do a lot of, like, responding, you know? Even when I'm like, hey, what do you think of this idea? There isn't a lot, like, there's just is not a lot of, like, response. You know? But I still figured I would kind of, you know, mention it. And I guess my thoughts are, if nobody responds, it means nobody cares. In which case I will probably do it. And if people do respond, then I would kind of, you know, look into that feedback, if you will. You know, and see what people say and what people think about the idea of, you know, just giving myself the unbreakable tools. I mean, we've already, you know, done some level of, like, non-survival world, you know, like, this isn't a purely survival world, right? Like, that much has already been clearly demonstrated, if you will. So, like, I would think it's okay for that reason. You know, it's like, well, the world's already not full survival anyway, so, you know, you don't have to adhere to trying to act like it's fully survival, you know? You know, obviously I'm not going to be going in and, you know, giving myself 1,000 diamonds. I mean, I really don't have a reason to. Freaking all of this tough mining that I do finds freaking diamonds regularly. You know? That's the thing, like, I have never found as many diamonds as I have since I started doing all of this, like, tough mining. And it's kind of ridiculous. You know? I, like, throat. Like, did something weird there. Like, as I sit here and mine out all of this stuff, you know, I find more and more freaking I mean, I find more and more mine shaft, apparently. Here I thought I had explored most of, if not all of this, but I swear I just keep finding more mine shaft. Like, here, there's more mine shaft behind the gravel. Oh, that's lava. Never mind. The gravel fell and broke the lava. I was like, oh, that's lava. And then literally as soon as I had said that, freaking the lava was gone. Certainly finding plenty of redstone. Not that I have any use for it. It's not that redstone isn't useful. I would never claim that redstone is useless. Because it's not. Like, there's so much you can do with redstone. But I don't know how to do that. Like, any of that. And so to me, it's not useful. You know? Oh. My mine shaft is right there. Actually, let me grab these back up. But like, I mean, look at all the tuff that's around here. And I guarantee you that if I were to sit here and mine all of this tuff, I would find like diamonds. I would find so many diamonds. If I just like sat here and mined all of the tuff in this area. Certainly finding plenty of gravel. So there's that. Like, I'm not even in my mine shaft anymore. So, in fact, speaking of this not even being pure survival, this isn't even like pure vanilla when you think about it. Because I have taken this world into a modded environment a couple of times. Mostly just for, you know, tree harvester. Like, that's one thing, is I've been very careful about the mods that I use. Like, it's that there's nothing that affects generation at all. You know, no structures, no biomes, no, you know, anything like that. Like, I've been very careful about not adding anything that adds any kind of like generation. And I've been really careful about making sure that it's only really just been utility things that have gone into modded. You know? Like, as much as I would love to have stuff like you know, that Tetris add-on that we had in Bedrock. You know, like, as soon as I add anything that actually adds some kind of generation, I can never return to a vanilla world. And to me, the whole point of this is it's supposed to be vanilla. Again, the only real mods that I'm actually using are utility-based. Stuff like Tree Harvester. Or like JEI. Although I think I've been using REI because I don't think JEI, oddly, JEI I don't think has been available for, I don't know if it's NeoForge that it's not available for, or if it's 1.20.5 as a whole. I've been using NeoForge because it's just better. Some people would say that about Fabric, and that's quite possible. I've never used Fabric before. But NeoForge is just Forge, but made by people that know what they're doing. Because, like, it's the original Forge team, you know? They just got tired of Lex Manos. So, because, and to be fair, all I know is what has been, like, posted online. Mainly by the NeoForge team themselves, who said that Lex Manos was basically a big baby. He's always been extremely hard to work with for all, you know, 10, 15 years, whatever, that Forge has been around. So all I can say, all I can do is assume, you know, that such is the truth. I've never met Lex Manos. I've never talked to him or worked with him. But Forge does have Forge did have a high layover rate. Like, people would join and then they would leave. And from my understanding, a bunch of those people that worked in Forge kind of just got tired and turned around and were like, you know what? We're just gonna make our own. And, you know, they were doing this entirely on their own time. They weren't cutting into to their, you know, paid work time with regular Forge and Lex Manos. They were keeping it private and weren't, informing Lex about such things. But then, like, the moment that he found out, he basically had a screaming hissy fit, is what the Neo Forge people said. So, like, I'm simply recounting what they said. I'm not here to say this is what actually happened. I'm just relaying their story. But according to them, Lex saw that they were working on, like, their own thing. And was like, what the fuck? And like when it came to light, the entire, like, Forge staff at that time all quit. Like, that day. So, and there is a, like, section of 1.21 Forge where there was just, like, suddenly no updates for a while. Because Lex was the only employee. So, and I mean, again, I don't know 100%. It could be that the Neo Forge team were the ones in the wrong. I don't know. I mean, I legitimately don't know. But I can say that I understand exactly, like, what they were saying. Because that's why my game development company doesn't ever really go anywhere. Because working with me is an absolute pain. Or at least such is what I have been told by all but, like, 2 people that I've worked with. So, like, either I am just really bad at picking people, to work for me, or, or it's me. And let's be honest, I feel like, the data is there, like, which is more likely, that I'm an absolute pain to work with, or that I've just happened to pick, like, the wrong people all the time for the last, like, 12 years. At some point, you really have to sit down and say, is it them or is it me? You gotta sit down and look at the facts. You know? Is it them or is it me? So yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that it's me. I mean, again, it is a question. It could be that it's not. I just really doubt that. $12 more, 22 more. There we go. Here. Let me grab this torch and bring it over here. Because I don't have any more torches. I do... And here's the thing, like... here's what I don't get about that. From my viewpoint, and the way that, like, I view the way that I talk to my employees and things, is it's always just like, you know, okay, if you need to do that, then go ahead and do that, you know? I won't name any names. But there were a couple of artists that I've worked with, that I was, like, you know, working with on a game. And it was like, okay, you know, here's the characters that need to be drawn. You know, here's like the dimensions of, you know, that the characters need to be drawn in, and so on. And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. And then they did that, and it was great. Like, they did an amazing job. And then they were like, hey, so like this other thing, like this other thing in the game, doesn't match up to those, like, specifications. And I was like, oh, okay, well, what should we do about that? You know? I'm not an artist. I have no clue, you know? To me, it's just like, okay, well, you are the artist. Do you have a solution to this? Because I have no idea what to do about that problem. And their response was like, well, I think I just have to redo everything. And I'm like, ouch, that sucks. You know, like, ouch. Like, you know, you put in all that work, but now you're having to, like, undo it and redo it, you know? Like, that sucks. But I was like, alright, You know, if you think that's what needs to be done, then that's what needs to be done, you know? Like, go for it. Whatever. And they were like, well, if I do that, it's going to cost you, like, more money. And I'm just like, yes, I understand that. I mean, yeah, it is going to cost me more money. I paid for the originals, but I also gotta pay for the new stuff, Like, I totally get that. It sucks. But, like, I mean, there's nothing that really can be done about that, And I don't know. Like, I guess that was not the response that was expected. Because the couple of artists, I've had this more than once. The couple of artists were like annoyed, and I'm like, okay, can you maybe explain better what the problem is then? Like, yeah, like I don't see the problem. It's, yes, I do understand that I will have to pay you more, and I'm totally okay with that. Like, go for it. Do what you think you need to do for the art. Make it good. Let's make it good. And like I said, I guess that just was not what they were expecting as a response, because it ended up with us arguing a lot. And I kept like asking them, I wish I understood the problem more. Like, I don't, that's the problem. My problem is that I don't understand the problem. Like, can you be, more direct about what the issue is then? And it's like, well, I've now explained it like 3 times. I'm like, okay. And I've said that that's fine. Like, even to this day, I still don't understand what the problem was. Like, to me, it sounded like I was being accommodating and trying to be like, hey, go for it. Do the good. Make it good. Like, by all means, if you think that this needs to be done, then by all means, go for it. And I don't know. I honestly don't know. And I'm sure that some of the problem is that I am autistic. And that makes social interaction difficult. You know, I pretty regularly think that I'm like doing good and being nice, and only to find out later like, nah, actually, like that was actually like a bother trying to be nice or whatever, you know. And I'm just like, okay, you know. And here's the thing. I know that I've definitely explained it from my standpoint, my viewpoint. And so a lot of people are probably going to be like, Serene, yeah, no, Serene, you were perfectly fine. Like, them getting upset didn't make any sense. But like, I'm like 90% sure that if you heard the story from their side, you would be like, oh, you know, Serene, you're actually doing this thing that was like a problem, you know? Like, I can almost guarantee that, you know? So, like, I'm sitting here trying to explain something that I don't understand, you know? And, like, trying very hard not to make it sound like I was the good guy and they were the bad guy. Because I really don't think that. I really think that there's something that I didn't understand. And because of that, yeah, I was doing something incorrectly and, you know, being snobby maybe, problematic in some way, you know. The problem is that I don't know. Like, that legitimately is the problem, is that I just don't know. I don't know what I was doing wrong, so therefore I don't know what I was doing wrong. You know? And if I did know what I was doing wrong, I would absolutely tell the story from that angle. Because that would be the right angle. But all I can do is tell the story from my angle, which is that I was apparently doing something wrong that I didn't ever really fully get a real answer on, or, you know, an exact, like, this is what's wrong. And again, it's not that it's not like, you know, oh, well, you know, like, you know, one person did this. Like, this is something that I've had with many people that I've worked with. Which, again, is sort of my thing. Like, the chances that I am just always hiring the wrong people just does not seem possible. You know, somehow, some way, somewhere in that I was doing something wrong, and I just was never able to fully grasp it. You know? As much as I wanted to firmly grasp it, sorry, I had to throw that in there in some way. As much as I wanted to grasp it, as much as I wanted to understand, I just was not. There's the freaking... See, I thought I checked all of them, but apparently I did not, because it's right freaking there. The freaking railings. This is why we make signs. It'd be even better if, you know, freaking... We don't use oak signs, clearly. We use freaking jungle signs. Every single one of these has been a jungle sign. So yeah, just like, I don't know. I just don't want anybody to be like, well, clearly they were, you know, in the wrong, because according to what you're saying, like, you did everything you could, or what, you know. But it's like, did I? I'm only able to tell the story from my perspective. And because I'm only able to tell the story from my perspective, I can only tell the version where it sounds like they're the one being problematic. But like 90% chance is that they were not. So... ground clutter. I mean, I don't know that firefly bushes really count as ground clutter, but stone. Terracotta. I mean, I would even go as far as to say that maybe even firefly bushes should be here. But I would put firefly bushes here for now, because if I were to have like bushes and ferns, they would go in here. And so all I can really think is to put the firefly bushes in there as well. So, how many buckets? We still have plenty of bucket. Okay. I don't actually have that much in the way of raw gold. Let's do this. I'm going to put 8 raw iron in, or 8 stacks of raw iron. Get that smelting. Speaking of which, let's go into our dripstone here. Let's pull that out. Cause I think what I want to do is have the dripstone and stuff like down here, like I usually do. Usually I have that as part of like the mine area. So I think what I might want to do is branch off this mine. Like, I think maybe this way would be fine. Also, I totally forgot about the torches, which was the whole reason we came back. So I should probably go get those. It really must be a bedrock feature that doesn't use shears. Because I swear that didn't use shears on bedrock. Or, like, durability on your shears, I should say. Sorry, I was holding on to freaking a drink in one hand. Which is what I'm still doing. Let's do 2 stacks. 2 stacks should be fine. Honeycomb. I should probably use my Silk Touch pickaxe. For mining out this stone. I also need to pick up some logs. I just realized. It's a good thing I realized that before I moved on. If I want to make this like the rest of the mine, I've got to get some logs. Here, we'll just grab a full stack. Probably don't need a full stack, but I'm going to grab a full stack anyway. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mine downward, just like I have been for the other, like, mine areas. But I'm only going to go down, like, 1 level that way. And then I'm going to build out that, like, platform that I usually make. So, Silk Touch. Dupe and dupe. And torch goes there. And then torch goes there. Ooh, copper. Not that I need it. But I might as well grab it. Because if I ever do come up with a build that uses copper, I'll have plenty of it. And then right here. Is where these go. Not just like that. And then we just kind of build out like so. Here, go ahead and light that up. That said, I'm actually gonna silk touch this coal ore because if I do decide to do that monolith idea, one of the characteristics of the monolith is that it has like ore embedded in it. And I think that I think I'll want some ore blocks to embed in it. So now I've got to figure out how exactly I want to do this, because the idea is that I need a layer down below, in order to... I do have a stone cutter. I think I need more than 8. Isn't it like 10 of these or something like that? Four more. There we go. But yeah. Okay, so the idea is that I want, and maybe I'll make a 5, I might even like expand it out to like 5 by 5. But I need like a space to put the blocks, like to put the lava and the water. But then I need the spots for like underneath that, you know? I'm kind of trying to think what the best way to do that would be. I mean, I think, technically speaking, I think the best option would be to just have this be where the cauldrons are, and then like the regular dripstone can be on this side. But also I kind of want this to be double sized for the drips, for the water. Let's see. Let's dig this out. Let's just assume that we're going to use this entire space. Well, maybe not this space. Again, could not see at all. You know what? I'm a fortune these too. Not fortune, but silk touch. Because again, if we do make that monolith, I'm gonna want ores. One, two, three, four, five. I probably don't want it to be directly here. So let's do 5 like that. Which means I need to push back 1 further. And that should be pretty good. I want to completely conceal this. I might still utilize this in some way. I have no idea how if I do, but I might. Ah! Let's just not dig this layer. I think that would work the best. Because then we're not putting blocks back down. Two. 3. Speaking of 3, I had to move that over by 1. And kind of light that up too. Technically, I don't need to be using the silk touch on the granite. But I am. So therefore, I will. Didn't think I was deep enough to run into lapis, but there it is. So, one side is lava, one side is dripstone. And what I'm thinking is... how do I want to do this? What if we build some slabs? And we make a staircase that goes up. And we make a staircase that goes down. And we go down 3 blocks. And by 3 blocks, I mean technically 4 blocks. And that I want there to be like 3 blocks from like the ceiling. And that should be enough that I can find it down there. Yep. Just like so. And then we just dig out this section. And I think this will all make sense when I'm done. If you haven't like already figured out what I'm doing, this should make sense once it's done. So that works. Why do I have 1 piece of gravel? Sitting here clogging up my inventory for no reason at all. But yeah, that makes it a 5 by 5 there. And then you come down here, and unfortunately, I don't really have a better way of going that way. But maybe that's okay, because if I put the cauldrons here, yeah, I only need to go down for that one, basically. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll push that up by 3 blocks, like so. And then I just kind of need to do the same thing again. That's the height that I wanted at. Whoops. Return the slab. Thank you. Very creepy episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog, but still one of my favorites, honestly. Return the slab or suffer my curse. We don't want any. I always loved how dumb Eustace was. Well, I mean, I guess I don't need the stairs to go up that much, do I? Like, if I'm trying to keep one block here, I just kind of, really, I just need the stairs to go up to this. I wonder if I just started up there, like at the level that I want, at the level and the layer that I want. I mean, that would require me to be smart about this. Which, you know, is really difficult for me to do. Let's do that. But yeah, if you're not familiar with the Monolith, as I wasn't, I would definitely recommend looking it up. It's a real weird, like, Minecraft generation bug that used to exist that just doesn't anymore. And nobody's ever figured out exactly what causes it. At least from my understanding. Okay, now that's interesting. It's just known that it occurs, you know? The exact reason it occurs and cause are disputed pretty regularly. I would say. Those are the corners. Mostly just the freaking cobblestone and dirt that are really causing me issues right now. There they are. I'm like, I haven't found the corners yet. But now I did. Okay, so this is 5. Right there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. That should do what I want it to do. So we put brick here. Or we put some blocks here to block the flow. And then I come to the realization that I still did this wrong. Because basically what I want is I want this layer. Do I want that layer? Let's do that layer. I want it like that so that I have access to this side and that side. As long as it's not me side. That was a ridiculously fun game, by the way. For those who haven't played it. I thought it was just going to be a freaky horror game. And it turns out that there was way more to it than just a horror game. And I'm not going to lie, I kind of loved that aspect of it. Oh, because the torch is there. Like, I think the game was really good. I think the game was a lot of fun. And it felt like it, you know, did what it set out to do. So then, this is where my 5x5 should be. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's the 5x5 on that side. Very cool. Now this is deep because this is going to be dripstone. It's going to be for the sole purpose of growing more dripstone. This is where my lava's going to be. So I'll need 20 cauldrons. And unfortunately, the other thing I'm going to need is 25 blocks of dripstone. So let's go get that. Luckily, I only really need 2 buckets of water. Gonna go grab my buckets that are in the furnace that have been used up by the furnace. Now, I think that's gonna... I think this lava bucket might not... There's not gonna be enough in there for the next lava bucket. Not that it really matters since infinite fuel and all that, but still. I think it might be a stack and 32 per bucket. Which means that if I put exactly 2 stacks in there, it would have been fine. Or excuse me, not 2 stacks, but if I put like 3 stacks in there, it would have been like exactly enough. Oh, I've collected all of the lava over here. I didn't even know that. So yeah, we don't have 25 blocks of dripstone, but with all the dripstone that we have here, along with what we have back at the base, there should be no real reason why we wouldn't have enough dripstone. Alright. Actually, forgot that I had this. Is there water above that? Or... Nope. That's right, because that's the clay. So there wouldn't be water above that. So we do have enough dripstone. We have 30 blocks of it. But does not look like you can convert it down. Which, like, if Minecraft is going to keep doing that, they need to give us something. Or I guess if Mojang is going to keep doing that, they need to give us some way to convert down. Because that's super annoying. So... And dripstone blocks are not directional by the looks of things. They are not. Okay. That's perfectly fine. Now the fun part is I didn't think about how the heck I was going to actually place the pointed dripstone. I can just barely reach. And then from there, I can just build off of those. Ta-da! Dripstone farm. Well, once I, apply the water anyway. Put one there. We put one there. We get an infinite water source. And then we just place the water down along the centers. And boom, infinite water source. Infinite 5x5 water source. And with that, and with all of that dripstone, we have this entire giant cavern area with which to have dripstone growing. Not that I think we're really gonna need it all that much, all things considered, but it is what it is. Let's see, so we've got 12. We have 12 cauldrons already. I'm gonna need how many more cauldrons? At least 9. 4 more. 4 more beyond this. Two, 3, 4. Cool. Let me just go ahead and grab some lava buckets. I'm gonna put these in here so that I have more space. And then with that, all we gotta do is finish moving the lava over and then fill it in. The perhaps more difficult part of this is going to be the getting to the back part. Unfortunately, lava does not become infinite if you have 2 lava blocks touching each other. And actually, I think that looks really good. I might keep it that way since, you know, there's not going to be any cauldrons here in the middle. $14 buckets with which to grab the remaining, what? Not even 12 lava? I think it's 8. I think there's only 8 lava left in my current cauldrons. You can also do that to get water. The cauldron thing. Like, if you were to fill water above these and then let it drip down into the cauldrons, you could get water. Why you would need to, I don't know. Considering that you can just make an infinite water source. But I suppose there is a game rule for turning off infinite water sources. And so that could be an interesting challenge. You know, a world that doesn't use infinite water sources. Because that is something you can set. Like, there's a game rule for that. But there's also a game rule for infinite lava. So, technically speaking, you don't have to do this if you have that game rule active. But where's the fun in that? Ah, I miscounted. Oh yeah, because I counted 25. Not 20. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I'll do something with these. I'll figure out something I can do with those. But yeah, unless I want to actually go in and fill these middle slots, which I don't have cauldrons underneath. I think having this little, like, stone line right there to kind of separate the two sides looks good. And we've got our water. Yeah, we've got our water. And that will cause some dripstone drippage. The main issue is that this needs to be lit up somehow. If I put a torch and then I put a slab. Nope. That might be a bedrock only thing. where half blocks don't like black light. That might be a bedrock only thing. There is another way. First off, this isn't light level 0, so technically I don't have to light it up. It would just look better if I did. But I do have another method of lighting it up down there, which was originally an idea that I was thinking, but I wanted to see if I could light that up without having to run back here. Eight is good. 8 will look good. Now, if you haven't already figured it out, I'll show you what I'm planning on doing. I'm gonna come right down here to the bottom. And we're gonna make sure we're on our Silk Touch pickaxe. 8 is not good, actually. Because I needed 6. But there we go, all lit up. Way more light than I needed, but still, all lit up. And that, I can guarantee, won't have any effect on the dripping. And I do have a couple extra lights. So I might as well put them to use. I don't know. Maybe I'll go get one more for here. I'll think about it. Look at that lava production. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Getting that lava production. Alright, so now we have 20 cauldrons worth of lava. That we can just grab whenever we need, really. I've got 7 buckets to fill. And somewhere in here I placed the other stuff. Mostly I was looking for the oak wood. Myrrh. My cat went myrrh. You know how cats do that, like, myrrh? That little, like, trill thing? That was what she did. Is what I'm saying. I really can't even come close to trying to replicate it. Unfortunately. Like, try as I might, I have never really been able to, like, roll my R's at all. You know. And so I've never been able to, like, mimic it. So it's really more of just a murr. In terms of, like, what I can, what the sound that I can make, you know. And trust me, like, I took a year of Spanish. I was gonna say, I took Spanish. I only took a year of Spanish, but, like, the whole rolling your R's thing is, like, pivotal to Spanish, and I could never do it. Oops. I haven't finished filling this one yet. There we go. On a side note, and this may mean absolutely nothing to most people, I've been thinking about doing another run, another playthrough of the Quest for Glory series. I have always played Paladin with a little bit of magic skill. And I kind of want to, like, see some of the other routes. I hate to say this since it was, like, a pivotal part of my, like, childhood. But I've legitimately never played any of the other routes in Quest for Glory. So I'm thinking I might do that. I know that most people are probably like, what the frick is Quest for Glory? If you don't know, you can go check the videos that I have. I have all 5 of them up on my channel. Yeah, well, here, I suppose, because, you know, this is a pre-recorded thing, which means that it's not like you could be watching it live right now over on twitch.tv/SereneInc. You could be watching me stream live. You just wouldn't be able to watch this episode live. Because this was not streamed over at twitch.tv/SereneInc. I could probably, like, there's probably 7 down here by now. There we go. You know what is really annoying, though? When you're watching YouTube and it's like the first 5 minutes of a video, but you know, that's like half an hour long. It's like the first 5 minutes of a video, and the YouTuber is like, if you like my content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm like, dude, I haven't even seen like your 1 episode of your content yet. I don't know if I like your content yet. Like, show me something interesting. You know, do the thing that I, you know, came to watch the video for. And then when you're like maybe halfway through, at least, then you can start to think about trying to freaking shill. You know? And absolutely no point in telling me to subscribe in the first freaking 5 minutes when you haven't even done anything in the episode yet. In fact, because of that, maybe now I like your videos even less. It's like, it would be like, you know, me starting an episode, right? And being like, all right, hello, welcome back to Minecraft. If you like this episode, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Like, hello? Maybe wait until after. That's why I usually don't say it until like the end. I don't even really like care to do it like during an episode. I'd rather like get to the end of the episode. And then if you have watched the entire thing, then it's most likely that you actually enjoyed the video. And at that point, then I'll think about, you know, telling people like, hey, if you want to watch more, feel free to subscribe. A good example of what I mean, and it's kind of like, I've been following them for literal years, but they've been doing this like every episode the last like year, is the theorist channels like Game Theory, Food Theory, Style Theory. They're like, do an introduction. And it's like, you know, is a hot dog a sandwich? Well, we'll discuss that on today's episode of Food Theory. But before that, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And I'm just like, dude, you haven't even, like, explained what you're, like, theorizing yet. Of course, the theorist channels have become less about theory and more, and as much as I hate to say this, it's especially true with game theory, where some of their latest videos have been like, alright, we're just gonna sit here and explain to you what's been going on in the series. And it's like, yeah, great, I'm glad, like, to one degree, I'm glad, because, yes, I don't exactly know. Like, I really don't keep up with the FNAF. I don't keep up with Garten of Bonbon. I don't keep up with really any of those. So it is nice having the ability to watch a video and, like, understand what's going on. But I'm watching a theory channel. I'm not here to freaking get a lore dump. Like, make a lore dump channel. It'll be, because it's like, they'll do like 15 minutes of like, here's what the game is about. And here's what's going on in the game. And then finally, after like 15 out of, 20 minutes, they'll be like, so what's the theory about it exactly? And then there'll be 2 minutes. Because usually there's a sponsor, and then there's a half hour, or not a half hour, good grief, a 30-minute outro. 30-minute freaking seconds, 30 seconds, good lord. My freaking time dyslexia. Like, I don't know if that's really a thing, but freaking dear Luna. Wow, I haven't said that in a while. But freaking, like, seriously, I cannot tell you the amount of times that I'm like, seconds, no wait, minutes, no wait, hours, no wait. Oh, it's 12 o'clock? Cool, so it's midnight. No wait, it's noon. Freaking, ugh. But yeah, it's like, again, don't get me wrong, I am happy for the recap because, I really have no idea what's going on with most of the series that they cover. And I'm sure that's part of why they do it, is because the idea is they want to help introduce new people to things. And the way to do that is to kind of go over what's going on. But it's just like, okay, I can watch other people who can spend like 20 minutes going over a theory without almost any actual, like, here's what's going on with the lore, and let's go over everything, So it's like, I couldn't watch other people. And it's not so much that I can watch other people, but like, you can create theories about stuff and have them take, 20 minutes without needing to sit there and recap to begin with. Freaking Genshin. It is kind of really funny to me, actually, that, like, game theory doesn't cover a lot of games that actually need, like, theorizing. Like, they've gone over Genshin, like, twice. You know? But both times it was purely because it was sponsored. And it was like, oh, let's theorize about this one thing that, like, basically anybody who has played the game is literally already theorizing. You know? The Sarita isn't evil, perhaps. Yes, like, actually, that's basically more or less been stated in the game at this point. You know? Like, I'm just like, seriously? Go over some of the other stuff in the game, like how, you know, humans are dragons. Or like, what the heck is going on with freaking the what was the newest thing that happened? The Hexenzirkel. Like, what the frick is up with the Hexenzirkel? You know? Or cover, like, you know, the whole freaking Durin just became a human. You know? But instead, like, the games that actually, like, need the theories, all, if they get theories, like, they get the, like, most basic theories. And it's like, I get one that's like one person doing all the work, but now that each theory channel is like 20 people, I really don't see why these things can't be covered. I mean, freaking single YouTubers are covering all of this stuff. Within like 3 days of the new thing happening. And you're telling me that your crew of like 20 people can't freaking do the freaking theories? But then it's just like, you know, freaking Mojang and their like 300 employees can't do the same things that 2 people making a mod can. Which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not gonna sit here and call Mojang lazy. I would even go as far as to say that Mojang probably has some of the most ridiculous amount of work. It's just that what it takes to do that work is more than it needs to be. I don't think that Mojang is lazy. I think that Mojang is inefficient. And that's a very different thing. Because inefficiency is not laziness. Inefficiency is, oh, hey, you know, we have like 1,000 people working on this one thing, but only one person can do it at a time. And like, once that one person has done it, then it has to go through like 7 different things before we can turn around and have the second person work on it, you know? It's like, okay, you know, it's, there's the Java team, and like, they have to do their thing, but then the Java team has to then get like approval and like, okay, yeah, this is good, before it can go to like the Bedrock team. And that can take weeks at some points to go from a Java person to a Bedrock person. Because, and I don't know the exact specifics, you know. Does it have to go through like, 10 different people? I was going to say 30. Though maybe. Like, does it have to, like, get viewed by, like, 10 of the higher-up staff members? And then if, like, one of them dislikes something about it, then, like, it's completely scrapped and you have to redo it from scratch. That's what it feels like. With the way that I've, like, heard people talk about their time at Mojang. And it's like, get some efficiency. I guess, and like, that's sort of even the sadder part, if you will. Like, instead of figuring out how to make things more efficient, they went down to the drop system. And the first couple of drops were like, okay, yeah, cool. You know, we getting some stuff out of this. And then the last drop, the freaking, you know, Happy Guest. Like, what has been being worked on? You know? Like, the Happy Gas was done 2 months ago. What else has been added to the snapshot? Leads. Leads have a little different, you know, leads work a little differently now. Saddles can be crafted now. Like, don't get me wrong, I know they've also been doing some bug fixes, but like, what have they been working on? You know? Like, is this drop actually going to be vibrant visuals? That's what a lot of people are currently theorizing, is that when it comes out on Bedrock, it's going to be like, it's, you know, the vibrant visuals update or something. And it's like, great. So where's the Java equivalent? stop working on crap for one version. You know? That's a lot of the problem. Working on so much stuff for one version. Oh yes, we're going to do the vibrant visuals. We think that it is going to be the way that Minecraft looks from now on. We'll be bringing this to Bedrock very soon. As far as Java is concerned, we have plans to eventually bring it to that version. Like, stop. Just stop. Do the thing on both versions or don't do the thing. You're literally adding more work to yourself. That's one of the reasons that things are going so slow for sure. Like, remember the Tricky Trials update? Or whatever? 1.21? Remember how, like, the whole thing there was combat and tinkering? If they didn't have two completely different combat systems, they'd be able to make both the Bedrock and the Java version the same. Maybe focus a little more on, you know, the combat. I get that people dislike the Java combat. From what I understand, a lot of people were eager for the Java combat that they were doing in the snapshots in 2019. Why has this not been a priority, you know? Like, freaking Mojang needs to get their crap together and stop making things for one version. Because the trial chambers are completely different on Bedrock, by the way. If you're not aware, the trial chambers are completely different on Bedrock. One, because of the combat. But also, like, there's just entire rooms that just don't exist on Bedrock. Why? Because they don't work on Bedrock. If it doesn't work on one version, don't bring it to the other version. It's not a hard concept. Or stop claiming that both versions are the same game. And just be like, look, there's Minecraft and then there's Minecraft. One is Minecraft, the other is not Minecraft. And just start developing two separate games and bring the Java feature, you know, put what can run on Java, what can run on Bedrock, and just don't freaking bother with the idea that they have to be the same thing. Which I know technically I've now said two separate things on that. But, like, that's what I'm meaning, is either make them the same or stop pretending that they are the same. Well, there's just some things that only work on Java. You can't do that in C++. Then pick one. You know how other games are developed for multiple platforms? They use the same code base. Look, I would be devastated if they got rid of Java Edition. But I would vastly prefer that there be Minecraft than Minecraft Bedrock, Minecraft PlayStation, Minecraft Xbox, Minecraft Java. Which, by the way, even though they're called Bedrock, the PlayStation and Xbox versions are also different. You know how video games are normally developed for multiple platforms? They use the same codes. They use the same code base. That's what I meant to say. They use the same code base. There's a little bit of extra code to run interpretation, depending on which platform it's on. But it uses the same code. It's all built in either C++ or C#, or like JavaScript sometimes, especially if you're doing something through like Unity. Like Unity, at least when I was learning Unity, the number one like set of Unity tutorials out there was JavaScript. You almost never found C# or C++ Unity tutorials. Or at least, again, when I was doing it. Pick a code base. Pick a code language, which I guess is technically the first step. And code in it. You will be vastly faster and vastly more efficient. But Serene, if they got rid of Java Edition, then what about all the mods out there? Oh, it would absolutely kill the modding scene. 100%. I mean, it wouldn't. Because modders are ridiculous. I have seen people backport every feature from 1.21 like backwards to 1.12. Oh, I said weird. 1.12. 100% if they just said, nope, we're not supporting Java anymore. Modders would take whatever the next update is and mod it into Java Edition. Heck, it would even be better because then all of the mods could just update to one version, whatever that final version is, and you'd never have to worry about compatibility again. Oh, 1.21.6 came out. That means I have to recode my mod again. I have to wait for a brand new version of NeoForge to come out, and then I have to turn around and recode to match whatever the frick Mojang just changed. Probably a lot of stupid crap. And yet they still can't fix lighting bugs and optimization that have been fixed by the community for literal years. It's not laziness. It's inefficiency. I 100% disagree with anybody who says Mojang is lazy. Because it's not laziness, it's inefficiency. And you know what some of that inefficiency is? I almost guarantee you that some of the inefficiency is that they want to ensure that whatever they put out doesn't look code-wise like anything that's on, like, that's out in mods. It's not that they can't fix the lighting and optimization problem that like sodium and rubidium and some of those kinds have already fixed. It's that they're too concerned that if they do that, the code is going to look like sodium and rubidium and other such optimization mods. Because, well, what if we get sued because, you know, our code looks similar to somebody else's? Like freaking one, look, nobody is going to try to freaking sue you. 2, you would win. Because you're big company. big corporation. You would win. It doesn't matter even if they sat down and stripped the exact code out of something like sodium. It wouldn't. Because they're Microsoft. And money equals automatic win. Like, I'm not kidding. They legitimately could just go in and I'm not suggesting they do this, but because they're Microsoft, they absolutely could just go in, strip the code out of something like sodium, put it into Minecraft, and if the people that made sodium complained, big whoop. Because you try to sue them, they're multi-billion-dollar company, you're going to lose. That's just a fact. Like, that's legitimately fact. That's just how it would work. Copyright doesn't benefit anybody but big name company. And even then, companies have been working to get around copyright forever. I mean, look at AI. It's literally, oh, you did artwork and own that copyright? Too bad. Screw you. That's all AI is. Nobody sat down and said, oh, I've got this great idea that would help a bunch of people. No, they sat down and said, hey, so in what way can we screw over people that are not us? If AI did not take off the way that it has, and these AI companies that are making all of that stuff were these little teeny tiny companies that barely have anything to their name, 100% guarantee you it would be the big name companies going out and being like, hey, that's our copyright. You can't do that. Copyright doesn't benefit anybody except big name company. Because they can sue you if you use their copyright. But you can't sue them if they use your copyright. It's just not a thing. You legitimately would not be able to win in a court case against them. Because money. And like I've said it before, you know, yes, 100% I completely, you know, agree that that like artists and things should absolutely 100% get their credit. They should own their copyright, everything. Like, I'm not against any of that. That's 100% correct. However, and what I'm about to say is going to sound like I'm contradicting what I just said. When you... And I'm trying to think of how to say this properly, because... Let's... Look. If you wanted to make a novel, and the premise of your novel was there are wizards, and they are like the normal, and then there are non-wizards, which are not normal. In fact, it's very bad if you are a non-wizard. And this has been a conflict for hundreds of years. But due to somebody who is taking advantage of this conflict, it's about to erupt into a literal war. I am not going to say, you ripped off my Scion War story. My brain was just not thinking of the words there. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you ripped me off. That's the story I'm telling. Because you know what? It's not. It's 100% not the story that I'm telling with Scion War. It's a similar what's the word? It's a similar idea. I don't know what the word that I was trying to say is. It's a similar idea. But I guarantee you that if you wrote that novel, it would not be the novel that I am writing. It wouldn't be. Like, just straight up, it would not be the same as the novel that I am writing. Because I am the only person in the world that can think the way that I think. Even if I'm dumb as rocks, even if my writing is absolute shite, I'm the only person in the world that can write it in the exact way that I can write it. And so it's dumb of me to say, like, no, you can't do that, because I'm doing that. Nobody will ever write Lord of the Rings. Because only J.R.R. Tolkien could write Lord of the Rings. Like, that's just the way it is. Only Tolkien could write Lord of the Rings. There isn't a single man, woman, or anything in between currently alive that could write Lord of the Rings. Many could try. Many could imitate. But there isn't a single person in the world that would be able to sit down and write Lord of the Rings. The only person who can do that, the only person that could do that, is Tolkien. Tolkien? Tolkien? I've heard it both ways. The only person that can be exceedingly transphobic and write a world that is somehow exactly like the nature and story of like a trans person discovering who they are, you know, but also be extremely transphobic and hate trans people. The only person that can do that is freaking J.K. Rowling. You know? Like, only J.K. Rowling can write Harry Potter. I mean, that doesn't mean that she's the best person to write Harry Potter. Or she's the best person to write Harry Potter. That doesn't make her the best person to write about wizards and a wizarding world that is separate from the regular world and who are all completely out of touch with reality. You know, like she is. Like, she may be the only person that can write Harry Potter, but there's so many other people that could write a story like Harry Potter. But good. And not stupid. And also not be stupid. Sticks, dripstone. Where did the cat? Where was my cactus again? Another wart. Ooh, actually, since I'm moving all of the like crops into here. Cactus. And I'm setting them up over here in like their own dedicated section, basically. Beetroot. Melon. I don't have anywhere near enough melons to fill up the melon chest. but it's fine. Also, I don't need this torch here. I have the lights now. The only torches I need, in this like chest area, is anything where there isn't lights. Like, I don't need that one. I don't need this one. This one, no, I don't need that one. This one maybe. Just because I don't have, like, this light or this light. But I don't need all of these, like, torches that are all over the place. Like this one. I don't need it. Get rid of it. So how's everybody doing? Look, I'm not apologetic at all about my hatred for J.K. Rowling. I never will be. I used to be into Harry Potter. I used to love Harry Potter. It was one of my favorite things. And then J.K. Rowling came out and was like, nah, I'm gonna be a bitch. And an absolutely horrid person. And like, look, I understand the statement, separate the art from the artist. But like, are you watching my videos right now? Because if you are, you're not practicing that. Or maybe, well, maybe you are practicing that. Like, you can separate art from artist. I'm saying that I'm a horrible person. Because I am. That's what I'm trying to get across with that statement. Like, I don't know, maybe that's the reason I don't get a lot of views. People know. And yet they continue to ingest Harry Potter. But yet they wouldn't watch me because I'm terrible. I have no proof of, that being any reason why people aren't watching. In fact, I would even go as far as to say that it probably has nothing to do with whether or not people are watching. It's really just that nobody knows that I'm out there. And I'm not entertaining enough for the people that do know that I'm out there. So, Aside from a couple of people. I know a couple of people think I'm entertaining enough. Which confuses me, but c'est la vie, I guess. It's just, I don't know. I don't get it. And, like, I know somebody might be like, Serene, you are entertaining. But, like, I've been doing this, like, no joke, for, like, 14 or so years now. 15, 16, something. Do you know the amount of times that I get that I have gotten a comment on a video and I open it up being like, oh hey, somebody actually responded to a video, and it's somebody being like, I just figured that I would tell you exactly the reason why I'm not gonna subscribe to you. It's because you're boring as fuck. I just thought you might like to know that. This isn't for my benefit. This is so that you know. But by the way, you're super boring, and I'm not going to be subscribing to you. That is a legitimate comment that I have had multiple times on my videos. I'm just saying. Like, I do get that people kind of dislike that I feel bad about myself. And the immediate reaction to, you know, I dislike myself is to try to say something to cheer me up, you know, to be like, well, you're not actually terrible, you know, you're not actually boring, you're not, you know. I do wonder how many of those people actually believe the words that they're saying, and how much of it really is just pity. It's like, well, see, nobody else tells Serene that she's cool. And, like, she's not. Like, it's true that she's not. But, like, at the same time, like, if nobody else is gonna say it, like, I guess I kind of have to. It does make me wonder, you know, how many people do that. I'm not saying, like, you know, everybody does that. I'm saying, like, I wouldn't be surprised if there are several people that I know that do that. Simply because they feel bad about how miserable I am. And it's just like, well, you know, we gotta do something to try and raise her spirits, you know? And it's like, I understand that people want to raise my spirits, and I understand, you know, that they're doing it out of that they're trying to do it out of the goodness of their heart. But I also just, like, you know, you don't say that the sun revolves around the earth. Because it doesn't. Because you could prove it. You know? Like, it's the same thing. You know? I don't say that I'm cool. I don't say that I'm awesome. I don't say that I'm smart. Because I can prove that none of that is true. If there was something that could prove otherwise, like, that'd be great. I would love that. The problem is that there's nothing that can prove otherwise. So, oh boy. I'm trying to think of what else I should look into doing right now. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I think the thing I'm going to do is move some of these animals. It does mean I'm going to be culling the herd. Because there's just nothing I can do about that. Like, I just have too many of them. Like, I'm probably just going to grab 6. Like, I'm not even doing this for the meat or the leather. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can handle that. I can manage 8. Think. I can certainly try. Any stragglers, get the sword. Let's see how 8 cows cross a bridge. The answer is only 7 cross the bridge. I mean, at least there's not a troll. You know, this isn't the story of the 3 billy goats gruff. It's the story of the 8 cows. So at least there's that. Isn't the 8 billy goats gruff, like, super depressing? Or am I thinking of a different story? No, I think I'm thinking of something else. Isn't it only the troll that dies? like all the other goats like trick the troll into being like, don't kill me, go after my sibling, they're much better. And then it gets down to like the last one, and he just like punts the troll off the bridge and kills it. Something like that. It's been a long time since I've heard a lot of those old fairy tales. I mean, I'm in my 30s. Like, I'm in my 30s and I don't have kids. So, like, I have no reason to, like, memorize the stories. Unless I like them. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. There. That ought to do. I think 8's a good number. Not too high, but not like too low, you know? Not gonna take like forever to repopulate. But also not necessarily gonna take, you know, no time at all to repopulate. Also, my cat is begging so hard for food right now. She's absolutely adorable when she begs because she doesn't like, she's not like obnoxious. She just comes over and cuddles like, alright, well, I would like some food and all, but whenever you're able to feed me is fine. Like, legitimately, she's really cute about that. Ayo. Cool. I had no reason to do that. I just did it. Like, there was no reason for me to kill that chicken at all. It wasn't gonna it's not like it benefited me in any way. I just decided that that chicken was annoying, and I killed it. GLaDOS was right. I'm a monster. Do you know what other creatures kill people for no reason? No one. No one but you is that pointlessly cruel. Oops. Whoops. Well, it got lots of pork chop. We're also nowhere near 8. We're still at like 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think. Well, I killed 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's unfortunate. 6 it is. Six is what I got, so 6 it is. I needed to kill only 1 pig, apparently. Which is weird, because I know I counted 10. So that should have meant that I needed to kill 2. And somehow, by killing 3, I ended up with 6. So... I mean, obviously, it's because there were 9, not 10, and I just miscounted, but I like the idea that somehow there were 10, and I killed 3, and 10 minus 3 is somehow 6 instead. Hey look, it's the creeper wrap. Is it the creeper wrap that has like all the pigs in it? Like following for a moment? Or am I thinking of a different Minecraft song? Minecraft fan song. This lead. I was like, where's the last lead? You little frick ball. Now I have to go in and re-lead all of the pigs so that I can bring 1 pig in here without the others trying to escape. This is why I don't use fences. I use carpet. Because all it takes is 1 freaking thing. And your like all it takes is 1 time. And your animals escape. This is why we use carpets. There we go. Cool. So I don't have a chicken coop. And I think that even if I did have a chicken coop, I don't think I would bother. Again, there was no reason. Like, there was no reason to go after that pig just now. I just saw the pig there, and I was like, get rid of it. I don't think I'm gonna even, like, try to lead those chickens over. I think I'm just gonna, like, collect some eggs. I mean, I only need 2 chickens. I mean, really, technically speaking, I only need 1. 1 chicken would give me eggs enough. But, like, I really only need 2 chickens to then breed more chickens, you know? I have an entire inventory of egg. Good. I think I'm just gonna like throw them into a barrel. And then set them over by where the villager houses are. Where did I... Barrel. 1 barrel. And then we'll think about a chicken coop design. And we'll build one. And then we'll hatch some chickens with some eggs. Whatever the chicken coop design is, I need to set it up so that it auto collects eggs, unlike what I currently have. I'm gonna put it here. Then next time I come over here and I'm like, what the frick is this? And I open that up and it's eggs. And I'll be like, what the frick? Why do I have random eggs? What's the point? Why do I just have a random barrel of eggs? It's because chicken coop. Chicken jockey. I was watching Vinny today. And Choicer Voicer, which is a program that one of the Vinesauce fans is making, that is a, like, you get like a sound or a voice of some kind, and then you have to like mimic it, and then you get a score based on how well you mimicked the voice. They added a overdub feature recently. Thank you. I'm glad you found no viruses. Like, did I really need to be informed that there were no viruses on my computer? Like, I mean, I'm glad there's no viruses on my computer, but like, did a thing need to pop up and tell me, hey, by the way, you have no viruses, you're good? Like, I'm just gonna assume that I have no viruses unless you tell me otherwise. You don't need to pop up and tell me that I have no viruses. Like, we're good. Anyway, so I was watching Vinny do the Choicer Voicer, and they added an overdub feature. And one of the things that they had available for overdubbing was the chicken jockey scene from the Minecraft movie, which I still haven't seen, by the way. I really haven't cared to go watch it. Like, I'll probably get it when it comes out. But then if it's anything like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, I'll buy it and I'll still not watch it. Heck, the other day I bought the Super Mario movie. I still haven't watched it. Partially because I did try to watch it and discovered that I couldn't watch it because I don't have a DVD player. Like, this computer doesn't have one. Like, just straight up. There is no CD or DVD drive in this computer. Just straight up. So, like, I legitimately just don't have a DVD drive. And, like, okay, well, maybe I could watch it on the laptop. Laptop doesn't have a DVD drive either. So, like, what am I gonna do? You know? Where am I gonna watch it in that case? We are at 3 hours, which, you know, usually I do try to kind of go longer. But it's getting late. It's almost 4 in the morning. Okay. Ow, freaking, my cat just climbed over onto the top of my computer. And this computer has some of its USB slots on the top for some reason. Not, you know, on the back, or, I mean, there are some on the back, but, like, not, you know, on the side. So that, you know, you can plug things in and then go from there. No, on the top. Because reasons. At some point, I really do need to sit down and go grab some blaze rods so that I can make more of these bulbs. Or I need to go down into the mine so that I can get some freaking go down into, like, the trial chamber again so that I can just steal their bulbs. Sticks. That's the dyes. This one, then, can be the dripstone. Figure, now that I'm not utilizing these for, like, the random crap, I can move some of the, like, already designated stuff into some of these chests. So I think I'll leave the prismarine and the railings where they currently are. Flowers, terracotta, stone, brown clutter. Yeah, sticks. Need a sign that says dyes, dripstone. And then these two are both empty. But yeah, I think this is good for now. I hope that you have enjoyed. My videos are if you're new and aren't aware, my videos are generally just a lot of me randomly ranting about something, and who knows what the heck I'm actually like legitimately ranting about. So you know, there's that. Pale oak. Aha! Yes, my creaking hearts are still over here. Okay. I do need to freaking get a resin farm going. You know, so I can actually have some resin to work with. But at some point, I'm not worried about it right now. Do I not have pale oak trees growing anywhere? What the frick? Where did my pale oak trees go? What the fuck? That's weird. Alright, I guess I'm going and getting pale oak trees. I don't know where my pale oak trees went. Maybe they haven't existed in a long time. Maybe I never replanted them. I don't know. Guess we'll just go get some more. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 16, of course. Makes perfect sense that it would be 16. And definitely not 13. "13" is a thing from a TV show. And it's more the way that, like, the character, like, freaks out and screams it. He's like, 13! 13! 13! 13! It's great. It makes perfect sense if you know the context. But if you've never watched Babylon 5, then how dare. But also, go watch. Is good. And when eventually 2 of those sprout, I'll put freaking my creaking hearts in there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to subscribe. You can check the playlist for more of the episodes, so you can watch more if you want. If you want to see my live streams, come on out twitch.tv/SereneInc. I do stream sometimes. Listen, I had a bad period. Like, I had some stuff that made me, like, not stream for a while, and now I can't seem to get the motivation back. So, I swear I stream sometimes. Anyway, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!